What's good, YouTube? And welcome to Anything But Fire and Snake Eyes. People are spending their money on a Rogue at a pretty extraordinary rate, I would say. I know Rogue has had plenty of buyouts in the past, but here where there's a pretty clear-cut winner going into a WCQ season, people want to play anything but at their local level or while they're enjoying the game. Labyrinth top 8'd the event, and before Arius was a one of, none of argument, and now it's a 3 of in that top cut list, and it's not like that's where it just caught on, because this has been rising pretty consistently over the past 3 months and is now a $20 card, quickly goes past $23.24 on the front page with multiple sales around that $23 mark and a couple at $34. I'm guessing those are international sales because that happens a couple of times, right? But when it comes down to it, the quarter century secret rare is also going up, so I probably did pretty good to get the oversized holographic version of the card myself to go with my welcome Labyrinth. But seriously, when it comes down to it, this is now a triple-digit dollar card with sales in that range around 120. The listings start up at 115, then go up towards 125, and then 130 very quickly. So people are actually buying into the hype here as well, and we see people swore off collector rares. Oh, rarity collection, I'm done. I'm not touching collector rares again. Well, lovely Labyrinth of the Silver Castle collector rare has absolutely skyrocketed with this, and there's only one seller 0% feedback at around 50 before there's an $80 copy, 85, and then there's none on the market. Most of the sales here were under 80, but there was one that hit that point. A lot of them being under 60 in general, though. So how this falls out will be interesting to watch, as it is a fan favorite. I really like the prismatic secret rare of this. I think it's a very nice version of the card, and it's a great price as well, so you might want to get that sooner than later using my TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. But hey, OG ultra rare, plenty of listings as well, but just a bit more expensive. Trap Trick collector rare also really spiking. It's the highest rarity version of this card, and I guess people kind of figure that with the 25th promotion likely wrapping up, there's not a lot of more 25ths with all the different rarities to come. They could still do like a Starlight instead of a 25th in a set like Rarity Collection, depending on how Rarity Collection 2 performs, but it doesn't look like it's doing the hottest overall with the new model that they cooked up. Could be a lot like Ghosts from the Past 2, where they don't end up doing a third, but we'll have to wait and see. Or they could try to kick it back up with the 30th. We never know what Konami's gonna do, right? But back on topic, Trap Trick itself for the collector rare has absolutely gone wild, and the lowest listings are around 45, and then it's quickly 50. This card has a lot of history in the game already, and I do think it's a very good card in general. You have plenty of easy access versions as well. I like to see a spread of cards like this where you can get yours for pennies, or you can go for the foils for a good amount more. I think it's really nice, and in fact the super rares are very affordable, under $1 if you just want a holographic version. Big Welcome Labyrinth is very interesting to me though, because this is still a 3 of in the deck, but it's doing nothing but going down for the most part, and the ultimate rare matches that energy around $21, $22, and yeah, you're still playing 3 of this card. So that one's interesting as the rest of the deck goes crazy. I feel like the ultimate rare is probably significantly undervalued if people are actually grabbing into stuff like Arius, right? Super Polymerization's been a pretty big topic, and Garura had its buyouts. Predaplant Dragostepelia quarter century secret rare from the OG Rarity Collection has seen a bit of a buyout here, and now the lowest are around 16, 17, and it quickly goes to 20 on the front page. And yeah, all the sales have gone out around that $12 range from people wanting to make those sales, and a pretty good amount of them moving as well. There's plenty of, again, easy access versions thanks to Rarity Collection's model itself if you want a nice holographic though. Super Polymerization's been an interesting topic because we were covering a while back how the quarter century secret rare went past the Starlight, then the Starlight fought back and went back up. The Starlights won that long-term war. They're still both pretty low on listings, but right now what's going going up while they both are kind of not going that hot is the Ultimate Rare has been consistently coming back up in price and is around $90. OTS Ultis, still a lot of people heading towards those cards. Now, every single version of Super Polymerization, though, is up towards $7+. Not a huge range difference from, like, the commons towards the secret rares, so I would personally get a holographic version of this card if you're in the market for it, rather than just the lowest end and spend a couple more bucks for, if a reprint does happen to this card, which I would think is likely with Konami's track record, then you have a nice holographic secret rare version for not too much more. X Purrely Noir and E Purrely Noir, we've been covering these for a bit. They've just gone even crazier. I know Jesse Cotton has had content on this being budget, and that pushes it more towards not as budget, yet they're still pretty affordable for what they are. Nobody wants to open Duelist Nexus, though. So E Purrely Noir is going to have a problem trying to repopulate on the market, and the nicer versions of this have been consistently going up. Purrely Lee is also consistently up right now and is headed towards being a $30 card at this point for its Ultimate Rare. Also, Purrely Collector Rare has been consistently coming back up. Now, this used to be way more expensive, right? So it has a history in the game of being super expensive, but versus its bottom out already and Rarity Collection 2, giving this a ton of nice versions, including a collector rare, this continues to come back up over the last 3 months and is getting sales. You know, it's not the most amount of sales, but it's interesting that it has managed to recover in some form versus a lot of collector rares bottoming out and just chilling there and not seeing any upward movement, and not the most copies of it in the world either. Ghost, Mourner, and Moonlit Chill versus Rarity Collection. Also, the OG art has started to rebound a bit. We can see the 3-month graph, and it really fell off as Rarity Collection came in, and now people are like, you know what? They don't have this version in there, and it's gone back towards 17, 18 for the secret rare, and the Starlight rare has had mostly downward movement still, though, at the highest end. So the mid-max is performing better, rebounding, while the highest end continues to suffer from Rarity Collection. It's very interesting to watch these intricacies in the market, and Moonlit Chill itself for the 25th is one of the better performing ones out of Rarity Collection 2, and is trying to stabilize up towards 40, but I think might be falling back towards 35. Phantasme also did not have its original art in Rarity Collection and was mostly falling off, but now the first ed is starting to bounce back towards $15, $16 here on the market. So be aware, these differences of what didn't exactly get reprinted are getting scrutinized. People are wanting specific versions, and usually what comes out first tends to do the best. Some alter arts end up outperforming over time, but First Ed OG is stuck in a lot of people's brains when it comes to certain cards, and I agree, Ghost Mourner's OG art probably is my preferred over, say, the reprint. Same with Phantasme. Interestingly, on the market, the 25th anniversary boxes are all coming up over time. A lot of these have flopped on their face all the way down to $42, $45 for, say, Spell Ruler. Invasion of Chaos has been rising very consistently and is around a $60 plus box now. Quickly, you can see it starts to rise after these go. You don't even have like a 3-case buffer versus that price. And then we also have Pharaoh's Servant, which was lagging behind. Now the lowest boxes for it as well are all around $63 plus. So when it comes down to these sets that we're seeing as, oh man, these are just going to sit here forever, it didn't take the longest actually for them to start to turn around and people to grab them. But the card prices inside versus the initial buyouts have all fallen. So it's like an empty value inside for opening rather than it being an experience nostalgia hit for those who enjoyed it in the day. So how many of these are really getting ripped open versus copies finding their way to the market? Well, a lot of people that rip them open are casual and are going to keep them and are going to put them in a binder and are going to think these are going to appreciate over time, and this is my chance once again. Then it's going to be a lot of misinformed people with that kind of mindset, right? Other people just want to enjoy the experience, which is probably the way to do it. And then when it comes down to the keeping it sealed, there's going to be so many people with this, but so many inactive people with it, that'll be interesting to watch it and speculate on it moving forward. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't know if Konami's gonna just hit these with an unlimited wave and go wild and just, you know, the 25th is almost over, we wanted to give you one more chance. Something like that could happen. But with how orders actually went, where you had to order all these in order to get LOB, I don't think too many stores would be going too crazy at the bit to get back in on that. Seriously, I don't think they would try to reward the model too much. But do be aware, all of the boxes are doing decent for themselves over time, especially LOB, which again doesn't have the most stable value inside. A lot of them fell out, we'll cover that, but it's at its max price here, and it quickly rises from there. And I know a lot of people went stonks and grabbed it, and it does appear to be doing just that. So if you got in there, good for you. It's doing relatively well for itself. Now, Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, Dark Magician, all these prices aren't the greatest. Look at this. The exact opposite of the box. So what is actually filling and backing the value of these boxes are their name and their name only, for the most part. These reprints are not it. They're not doing it. People don't like the new foil layout on the classic cards compared to the OGs when they're actually talking about collecting for the most part. I think it's interesting to have, say, every single version of LOB in the prints there. But right now, it's just downward trajectory versus upwards on the sealed. It's kind of neat to watch, actually. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these conversations. And again, I enjoy talking about this market theory more. It gets me going, and I hope you can tell in my content it's a lot more fun for me to get into, too.